What's good, everybody? Today we're going to be ranking the 58 most overhated fighters in the UFC. As you can see here, we have 5 tiers ranging from the zero haters tier, you know, the guys in the UFC that are sunshines and rainbows, everything is nice, everything is fun, to all the way down to the Jon Jones tier. If you're up at the leave him alone tier, then, you know, it means that whatever guys are hating on you, whoever's hating on you in the UFC community needs to realize that you're not worthy of their hate, and they gotta leave you alone. If you're down in the Jon Jones tier, then you deserve everything horrible that comes your way, buddy. If you can guess, and comment down below who's gonna go in that tier, I'll give you $1 gazillion trillion. All right, let's get right into it with the first fighter, Johnny Bones Jones. Guess where you're going, buddy? In the Jon Jones tier. This fucking guy. I feel like I'm making this video just to talk about him. All right, this guy has a great legacy. All right, he comes into the UFC. He's the youngest champion ever. No complaints here. Like, he comes into the UFC, he's great. He looks like a fucking force of nature. He does great. He's the youngest guy to get to the belt. Beats a bunch of former champs on his way. Fucking in his fight with Daniel Cormier, puffs for steroids. Fucking drops out of their fight in the next one. Does this, does that. Like, moves up to heavyweight after losing a decision to Dominic Reyes instead of giving him a rematch. Even though he won that decision, but he really lost it because it's all a robbery. You guys know it's a fucking robbery. He goes against Daniel Cormier. He beats him. He gets disqualified because of the fucking steroids. Comes up to heavyweight. Ducks Francis, by the way. Ducks Francis and Ngannou. The moment Francis goes like, oh, guys, I'm ready to fight. Fights Cyril Gane, who's an easy-ass matchup for him. Beats Cyril Gane. Sits around for hella long while Tom Aspinall, becomes interim champion and is calling for a fight. Sits out for so long, fights washed Stipe while Tom Aspinall is there on the sidelines, and he uses that fight as a promise. He says to the UFC, hey, let me fight Stipe, and then I'll fight Tom. And the UFC's like, alright, deal. He fights Stipe, and then he ducks Tom for a fucking year, and then retires. Fuck you, John, bruh. And then he's talking about the White House card. Like, oh, I was supposed to be on the White House card against Pereira. Motherfucker, you retired, bruh. The day you said you did not want to fight Tom Aspinall, you retired. And then you retired on Twitter, too. So it's official, bro. You're out of the sport. You're out the rankings. You're not the champ. You're not this. You're not that. Fuck out of here. He was talking about, like, it looked like a messy breakup over Twitter. He's like, oh, I've done so much for this company. Bitch. Fuck you, bruh. They had to reschedule UFC 200 because of your bitch ass. Alright? My apologies. Alright? That's just what it is. Okay, next fighter. Oh, God. Nearly lost my voice talking about Jon Jones there. Next fighter. Khamzat Chimaev. Now, this guy, he's been recently pissing off the UFC community. He's been pissing us all off, after his performance against Dricus. We all were super hyped up for that fight. He went in there and he just smudged the fuck out of Dricus, man. It was tragic. As a Dricus fan, that shit was fucking tragic, alright? He needs more hate. I know we've all been hating on him because he's inactive, because, he smudged Dricus in his last fight. He needs more. We need to bully this guy into fighting because he's not injured. He's not sick now. He had a bad immune system at some point. Like, maybe he still does. But he's good now. He's training with Armin and shit. And just now, he's gotten a fight announced with Strickland, bruh. Just now. I feel like it's been years since I've seen this guy fight. Because all we get is him, like, posting on Twitter. Every time someone in a weight class above him wins something, he just posts, like, eye emoji, wolf emoji. See you soon. Like, no, we're not going to see you soon, bruh. I'm going to see you soon when I go to the hospital for my common cold. That's when I'm going to see you. Otherwise, I'm not seeing you in the cage ever, bruh. Alright. My fault. These two motherfuckers got me heated up. Let's get nicer now. Israel Adesanya. Now, at one point in this career, when I first came into the UFC... Not when I first came, bro. Bro thinks he's on the team. When I first made it to the... No! When I first started watching the UFC. Jesus Christ. I actually started watching because of Adesanya. And at that point, honestly, I believe, like, I would have put Adesanya in the needs more hate tier because I did not like this guy. I came into this fight, I watched him, I watched the Pereira rematch where he knocked out Pereira and he was all, like, corny and shit. It was a good knockout and whatever, but he fought Strickland. Strickland brought all the stuff about his dog, and even before that, we didn't really like the guy. So it was just, like, the perfect storm for him to be hated. Right now, I do believe he's properly rated. I don't think anyone is under-hating Israel Adesanya. I think it's good now where he is, especially, like, in his spot of the division. You can't hate on the guy. He's a former champion. He's on a 3-fight skid right now, I believe. It's tough, all right? We like Israel Adesanya on this channel now. We've come around to him. Yes, we have come around to him. And I no longer hold any hate in my heart for you, Stylebender. You know, I appreciate what you did for the sport. I appreciate him getting me into the sport. And yeah, man, I don't think he's overhated in this community. Charles Oliveira, 0 haters. Now, some of you might say, after he smudged Max Holloway in a BMF title fight, some of you guys might say that he deserves, or that he has, or he deserves more hate, needs more hate, maybe he's properly rated, whatever. No, man. No. He went out there and he won the fight. Like, yeah, it's a BMF fight, but that doesn't change the rules, bro. This is not like, you know, the UFC game where you can just play the rock'em sock'em robots. You guys just stay on the feet, no grappling. This is not that, bro. This is MMA. It's always been MMA. And the reason why performances like Gaethje versus Max, or Max versus Poirier, reasons why the BMF belt was so special and so cool is that it was between guys that usually, as a keyword, usually like had some banger fights and usually on the feet. Charles Oliveira is a BMF. He's fought everyone. He's fought people when he didn't need to fight him, like when he fought Gamrot recently. He's a BMF, bro. Like, he fought Beneil Dariush back in the day. Like, this guy fights anyone the UFC gives him. So he's a BMF. He deserves to fight for that. And he uses wrestling and his grappling, bro. Sue him. He's a grappler. He has the most submissions in UFC history. You think he got those by striking? Like, what the fuck? No. Charles Oliveira will forever have 0 haters unless he ends up like being some sort of cheese pizza manufacturer or something. Like, that would have to be crazy, alright? Next. Ian Gary. This fucking guy, like, honestly, like, I want to put him needs more hate and the John Jones tier because I really don't like this guy. But he is properly rated right now. People in the community, again, let me stress this. People hate Ian Gary. This is what the tier list is based on. Given the sentiment in the community, what do people think of these guys? Alright? I do believe Ian Gary is properly rated. People hate him as much as they should. He's annoying. He has a fucking annoying ass voice. He tries to insert himself into situations where he's not wanted. Ian Gary is properly rated. Cyril Gahn needs more hate, bruh. This is an example of someone who's not hated enough. After his last performance with Tom Aspinall, where he eye poked him, bruh, Tom Aspinall was getting hate. Like, are we dead ass? Like, here, Tom Aspinall, leave him alone, bruh. He got eye poked in both of his fucking corneas. Like, he got that shit damn near like exploded, and he was still getting booed in the octagon. Like, I know Tom Aspinall, like, if you're a sane, rational human being, you don't really hate Tom Aspinall, but I have to put him in the leave him alone tier because there are people that are vocal about him. Like, there's people that are actually deadass talking about Tom Aspinall, like, oh, this guy, he dug fucking Cyril Gahn, he did this and that. Bro, what are you talking about? He got eye poked. He got fingered by an MMA fighter, as you would say, and he's out. Like, bro, you guys haven't seen, you think he's faking the surgeries he has on Instagram and shit? Like, yo, are we that ass? Leave Tom Aspinall alone and hate on Cyril Gahn. This fucking guy has gotten 5 title shots, counting the Pereira one. He's gonna get 5 title shots, and he could have gotten 6 if he wasn't out filming Paw Patrol back in the day. All right, was it actually Paw? I don't know. He was supposed to fight Tom Aspinall for the interim, and he was out filming Paw Patrol. Like, are we dead ass? Fucking hell. All right, Jose Aldo. 0 haters. Let's bring the tone down. All right, let's bring the heartbeat down, the blood pressure. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. Oh, deep breath. Jose Aldo. 0 haters. You know, back in the day, he had that beef with Conor McGregor. I'm sure maybe the Irish guys hated him, but even at that point, I don't think anyone hated Aldo. They just saw what Conor was doing. He was trash talking. He was, you know, like selling the fight. He was doing this and that. There was never any bad blood with Jose Aldo. There was never any issues, right? I don't think anyone hates this guy. I've never seen like a Jose Aldo hate comment. I mean, I've seen some people talk about how this guy needs to like learn how to defensively wrestle better in the sense of stop letting people pin you against the cage. But he's old, you know. He retired now. Like, let that man rest. I don't think anyone's really hating on him, so we're good on there, all right? Next. My boy, Arnold Allen. No haters. Again, I've never seen anyone say, I fucking hate Arnold. Bro, if you hate Arnold Allen, you have some hate in your heart, bro. Like, that's crazy. Like, god damn. I've never seen anyone say, I hate Arnold Allen. Similar situation with Michael Johnson here. The difference is, I do think he's a little overhated. Again, a little overhated. Because he has knocked out like 2 fan favorites. He knocked out Leonard Kavanaugh and Joshua Van, who's now the champ, right? So I've seen a lot of things circulating on... I don't really. It's harder to tell whether it's like admiration, like Jesus Christ, fuck ass Michael Johnson. How does this guy lose a decision to some jobber and then knock out Joshua Van and Lorna Kavanaugh, right? But nah, man, like this guy, like he's a little overhated. I mean, I've seen some comments that could be interpreted as hate, but you know, we're gonna put him in the overhated tier. Jailton Almeida. All right, now this guy. Little fun fact about this guy: my former MMA coach, right? Shout out Cassiano Laureano, if you guys know the GOAT. He actually was a training partner of this guy, Jailton Almeida, and he saw in a jiu-jitsu competition how this guy tore someone's shoulder like clean off the bone. That shit was nasty. And this guy, like, ever since he told me that story, I've been watching this guy fight, and I realized, bro, what does he do? He don't do shit. Genuinely, he got cut from the UFC. So for that, I'm gonna have to put him in the properly rated tier because people hated on him, and he got cut. Like, he got what he deserved, you know, Ian Gary style. He's annoying as hell, and he gets hated because he's annoying as hell. Jailton Almeida was boring as fuck, so he got cut. Right? Properly rated, that's what you get, buddy. All right. Next, Ankalaev. Now Shama. This guy, I'm a Pereira fan. This guy does not get hated nearly as much as he should. All right. I haven't seen as much hate as I would love to see on this guy. Bro, he was talking so much shit. There was like double language barrier. It was Russian to English, English to Portuguese, Portuguese to English. Like, that shit went through 3 languages, and still this guy managed to piss me off in a Pereira rematch. He's talking about how he's going to knock this guy out, this and that. When in the first fight, it was just like a smudge fest. He kept just like shooting on Pereira, having him worried about the takedown, and then just like kind of clipping him on the feet. He rocked him like one time. And apart from that, it was boring as hell, bruh. Like, that ass, you could have given Pereira a couple of those rounds. That's how boring that shit was. But yeah, man, I think Ankalaev needs more hate, especially for his Pereira performances, alright? Next, Mario Bautista. He's overhated. Mario Bautista is overhated at this point in his career. I think he's gotten some respect back after giving that real, like, having that competitive fight with Umar Nurmagomedov. And especially after this last win over Vinicius Oliveira, that was a good one. But yeah, man, this guy still receives a little bit of hate. I think it's because he's chopped, all right? And I'm guilty of this too. Just in my last video, I was talking about how it's so tragic, you know, the Americans. If you guys watched this last video, talking about how the Americans, like, you know, we have no good, we have no good fighters. Everyone's fucking chopped. This isn't that. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mario Bautista, all right? Next, Caio Borralho. I do believe this guy needs a little bit more hate. All right, this guy deserves a little bit more hate in his life, and you don't. It never does you wrong to have a little bit more hate in your life. You know what I mean. Caio Borralho, man, he says he's the leader of the fighting nerds, yet he has the most like boring ass fight style. I knew he was gonna win against the Ritter, but it still pissed me off. Like, bro, you're good on the feet. You could do more, like risk more, bruh. He could have finished Cannonier when he didn't. He could have beat, what was this fight that he lost? Nasruddin Imavov, bro. That was embarrassing, all right? I think Caio Borralho needs a little bit more hate. He needs to like use it as a motivational tool, you know, to lock in a little bit. And keep it pushing, like improve, bruh, improve, all right? Next, Joaquin Buckley. Now, I haven't seen any hate for Joaquin Buckley. I don't think this guy has any haters. And me personally, I'm a big fan. I think he's really funny. I love hearing him talk. Shout out to Joaquin Buckley, bro. Like, 0 haters here. If you have anything bad to say about Joaquin Buckley, we can take it outside, all right? Same thing with Gilbert Dorino Baby Burns. My boy, my Gert, my GOAT. This guy gave Hamza his hardest fight ever, bro. Dead ass. Like, the hardest fight he's had in the UFC for sure. And yeah, man, he just takes on killers. He took on Michael Morales, got knocked out. Took on JDM, got knocked out. But man, like, this guy's fucking good at what he does. Deadass. Like back in this prime, he gave that hard fight to Usman too. I don't know. Like, I don't think Gilbert has any haters. I don't know what there is to hate about him. Genuinely. Oh, like this next guy here, fucking Cejudo, bruh. Oh my god, Henry Cejudo. Definitely more overhated and needs more hate than Ankalaev, but less than Gone. Bro, I'm glad he's retired, bro. Deadass. Henry Cejudo, like, I know he was double champ, but I don't know why. I just get that feeling that he was not that good. and he thinks he's good. You know what I mean? This is like Olympic gold medalist, great achievement. Never taking that away from you. Flyweight champ after beating DJ. You know, that was an undeserved title shot in my opinion. They gave it to him because they wanted to get DJ out of there. And it was like, if Cejudo lost, they would have given him the trilogy. As long as it takes, you know? And then, yeah, like, he beat TJ Dillashaw. Was it TJ? I think it was TJ when his shoulder popped out. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know. It's just those fights, they don't convince me, you know? Like, these fights are not convincing for me. And he walks around like he is, like, the greatest combat sport athlete ever. When we know that's the GOAT, Poatan, alright? We all know my GOAT. My GOAT Pereira, alright? Next. This fucking midget, bro. Kai Kara France. I think he's properly rated. I've seen some people hating on him, some people glazing him. He shouldn't have gotten a title shot when he did. I get at that moment the flyweight division was super weak. He should not have gotten that title shot. He got it anyways. Whatever. I think this guy, you know, properly rated. He's now stepped away from the sport for indefinite amount of time. But yeah, man. Kai Kara France properly rated. A couple haters, a couple people that don't really like him that much. You know, not much to say about him. Next, Michael Chandler. At this point in his career, he's overhated, bruh. This guy has wasted so much of his life waiting for Conor McGregor. And he still comes out. He gives us exciting fights. The only thing we can say that we don't like about him is that he calls, like, he's kind of delusional with it. He calls for a title shot after, he says, oh yeah, this fight is a title eliminator when he was fighting Charles. Like, this guy wasn't 0-3 in his last 4, like, or 0-3 in his last 3. He said, yeah, this is a title eliminator when he went into the rematch with Charles. Says who, bruh? Did the UFC tell you that? You're not getting a title, bruh, if you beat Charles. Let's be for real. Alright, next. Sean Diddy Combs. Sean Strickland. Alright. So I used to be a big fan of Sean Strickland, right? I used to be. That's the key word. I do not partake in Sean Strickland any longer, alright? This is not one of my boys. Friendship ended with Sean Strickland. A little bit, yeah, I think less than Ankalaev, but, bro, this guy says some crazy shit, and it's not even, like, you can say crazy stuff, and you know it's for, like, the reactions and the clicks, but it gets to a point where you're like, influential to the point where you need to be wary of what you say for the youth. You know, like, I don't want to sound like a preacher here, but this guy says some stuff, and you can tell he says it without thinking, because whoever's interviewing is going to be like, whoa, Sean, you're so crazy, ha. Usually a girl, right? I just feel like most of the shit he says, he doesn't mean. He'll be talking about women in crazy ways, and then he has a loving wife at home that I'm sure he treats like a princess. Like, it just seems a little bit inauthentic at this point. And also, like, the persona of being a psychopath and being, like, having antisocial, like, borderline antisocial personality disorder, which I'm sure he has, whatever. Like, if he says he does, I don't think he would lie about that. But it gets kind of old when you get into the octagon and your fighting style is so boring, all right? He had a great win over Anthony Hernandez. No one can take that away from him. Which I knew he was going to win that fight, by the way. I'm the GOAT predictor. But it just gets a little boring at some point. It gets a little bit washed, all right? Next, Chito Vera. Brother, this guy needs more hate. This tier is going to be a little filled by the time we're out of here, all right? Chito Vera, I still see people talking about Chito Vera as being some killer. He's had good performances, right? He knocked out Dominic Cruz. He had that fluky win over O'Malley, whatever. Bro, this guy is not good. It's not good. I'm tired of pretending that this guy's good in any capacity. Like, he's old now. Like, now he's low-key out of his prime. He still has a chin, I guess. He got dropped by Figgy twice, which is crazy because Figgy was coming out from flyweight. How good is Davison Figueiredo? Am I right? And that's it, bro. Like, his striking is slow. He's super low output. He's super, like, he just stays at range and, like, feints and kind of aura farms out there. And that's kind of all he does. I think he needs some more hate. I think it's a similar situation to Hamzat. He needs some more hate. Wake his ass up a little bit. And, yeah, man, get back. Like, just, like, throw more. You have a good chin. It's like Marvin Vettori. Pisses me off. Has a good-ass chin. Refuses to throw. Bro, go brawl. Go use your chin. That's the only way you're going to win. What are you saving your chin for, bro? CTE 2.0, like, come on, you're already gonna get CTE. You took that knee from Sugar. That's damn near That gets you 50% of the way there, man. Alright? Next, Yuri Prohaska, the fucking GOAT. Yuri Prohaska has no haters. 0 haters for this man. If you hate Yuri Prohaska, you don't like MMA. Or something, I don't know. If you hate Yuri Prohaska, you a bitch. That's what you is. Next, the GOAT of the sport, Islam Makhachev. Alright, so, now it's a weird line that we have to tiptoe with this guy, alright? Because it gets to the point where you're thinking, he has a lot of glazers, alright? That is the Khabib fans that he inherited from his, from his cousin Khabib, or whoever Khabib is to him. The like Khabib fans that he inherited versus the people that don't like that he smudged Jack Della, or the people that don't like that he knocked out Volk, or like the casuals, like really casuals that don't like wrestling and think that he's a boring wrestler. So that's kind of what you have to go off of. I think Islam Makhachev is properly rated. All right, at this point in his career, he has a lot of glazers. He has some people hating him for the Jack Della stuff. And that's valid. That's why he's properly rated. He has his glazers and he has his people that fault him for what's wrong, for what he did wrong. The crimes he committed against humanity. All right? Islam Makhachev, properly rated. Next, Petr Yan. So, okay. This last fight against Merab, I watched it with my Georgian friend. So if you asked me that same day, I'd be like, yeah, man, fucking Petr Yan is John Jones, because I ride and die for my Georgian homie. Shout out. But in reality, he doesn't really have that many haters, does he? I don't think. I've only seen admiration from people online. And I think it's not the 0 haters, because he doesn't give you the same vibe as Charles Oliveira and Yuri Prohaska. I think Petr Yan is properly rated as one of the best fighters in the sport, and deservingly so. Like, he has one of the best legacies. He's where he's supposed to be. People think of him how they should, alright? Next! Leave him alone! Leave Joshua Van alone! It was not his fault, bro, that fucking Pantoja broke his arm. Bro, Joshua Van was just doing his fucking job. He went out there. He caught one of he caught the fucking head kick, pulled it up. Pantoja fell down, posted on his arm, which you're not supposed to do. You're a BJJ black belt, you should know that, right? And then broke his shit. Like, it's not Joshua Van's fault. It's not his fault. All right, leave that man alone. He does not deserve the hate. All right, next, Arman Sakarian. All right. What do we do with Arman Tsarukyan? At one point in his career, he was overhated, alright? When he had to pull out from that Islam match, he was overhated. Now he's got on that crazy PR run, and he's just been going crazy out there. He beat Dan Hooker, he beat this. Man, I don't know. He really doesn't have any haters right now. He's not 0 haters. He's not overhated. I do believe Arman Tsarukyan is currently properly rated, man. He made it. He went from being overhated to properly rated. Like, this is where he's supposed to be. Again, properly rated doesn't mean that he doesn't receive hate or he doesn't need more hate. Like, this just means that this is where he's supposed to be, chilling like a villain, alright? Next, Paddy Pimblett. This guy deserves more hate. Deserves more hate than Cheeto? Yeah. Less than Sean Strickland, I'd say. Because he already has a lot of haters. I just think more would do, good. Because this guy's really stubborn. The thing that pisses me off with Paddy Pimblett is that he has a fighter's delusion, which everyone, if they're fighting, they have some delusion of being the best. Or, yeah, man, on my best day, I'm the champ, whatever. But the thing is with Paddy, I just feel like he doesn't leave room to improve. Does he? Like, I haven't seen improvements from any of his fights. The only thing I've seen is his hair get tied differently. He started braiding his hair instead of letting it loose, right? But apart from that, bro, I haven't seen his striking get improved. I haven't seen his wrestling improve. His jiu-jitsu's good, but it's always been, he's good jiu-jitsu. I don't know, man. Partly that has to do with the competition that the UFC was feeding him. They were giving him some jobbers. They gave him old-ass Michael Chandler. And then finally, when he fought someone that was still good, a little bit past the prime, but still good, and Justin Gaethje, then, it happened, bro. What happened, all right? I think Paddy Pimblett needs a little bit more hate. I don't know if it's gonna do him any good because he's the type of guy to like completely ignore the haters, even if like he just clumps everything in, you know, constructive criticism and everything clumps in it with the haters. But yeah, man, I don't know. This fucking guy, all right, Jamal Hill. This guy was talking some crazy smack, but I do think he's overhated. All right, right now I think Jamal Hill's overhated because we kind of took him for granted. We took Jamal Hill for granted. And we took for granted what he was giving the sport. All right? How does that make you feel as a UFC fan? We took this fat guy for granted, all right? He was in the sport. He was trash talking. He was saying all kinds of crazy shit. He had the altercation with Jan and Jacek or whatever. He had the miscommunication on Twitter with his fans. It's really funny when Jamal Hill is out and about doing his shenanigans. It's kind of like, okay, if you guys have gone on Netflix or if you guys have like seen or read the anime Baki, all right, manga or anime, whatever, it's kind of like that. You enjoy that media the most. You enjoy Baki the most when you don't take it serious. And I enjoy Jamal Hill because I don't take him serious. You know, as soon as Poatan signed him out and the threat was gone of like this guy somehow beating Pereira, I was in bliss. I was watching Jamal Hill do his shenanigans. I felt like a fucking, you know, I felt like the princess being entertained by the court jester. That's what it felt like with Jamal Hill. So I appreciate Jamal Hill. I think he's overhated now because people take him seriously when they shouldn't. Just enjoy his goofy ass acts for what they are, alright? Next. Nasruddin Imavov. Brother. Want to put you in the John Jones tier, but that is a John Jones tier. I don't know if I'm going to put anyone else in the John Jones tier. Let's see. Ooh. We got a couple on here. We could see. Nah, I don't know. We'll see if it's next someone on into the John Jones tier. Nasruddin Imavov. You need more hate. I think you need more hate than Bohayo, but not more than Cheeto. This guy, I don't even know what his personality is, alright? So this has nothing to do with personality like it would with Jamal Hill or John Jones or fucking Charles Oliveira, right? This has nothing to do with the fighter's personality. Nasruddin Imavov, he just annoys me, bro. I don't know what it is. He's there, like, he's next for the title. He beat Izzy, I guess. He beat Bohayo, you know. I don't know. He's just boring. Doesn't really have a personality. Needs a little bit more hate. Maybe he turns heel if we hate him a little bit more. So let's go, guys. Let's turn the heat on this guy, alright? Next. Manel Cap. Oh, my God. This is like, Manel Cap is the encapsulation of the little man syndrome, man. Like the short man's anger syndrome. What do people think of Manel Cap? You know, when he fought Muhammad Makayev and lost that fight by super boring decision, I'm sure there were some people that were hating on him. Nowadays, I think we see Manel Cap, he's low-key him. And he's good at trash talking. I think Manel Cap is similar to Armin Sarukian and like maybe Kai Kara France. Bro, I like having this guy in the division. Bro, this flyweight, like, just aside, like, I might make a video about this, but this fucking flyweight division is genuinely stacked, bro. We got Joshua Van, Alexandre Pantoja, Tatsuro Taira, Manel Cap, fucking Kyoji Horiguchi. Who else? I'm missing somebody. We had Brandon Royval. I don't know if he's going to move up or not. Now Brandon Moreno got replaced by Leonard Kavanaugh. Like, we have some killers, bro. These are some killers in the flyweight division. Manel Cap. Oh, Muhammad Makayev, too, if he comes back. Like, this is a real good division. This is the best the division has ever been, without a doubt. All right? Next, Paulo Costa. Back in the day, this guy probably needed some more hate. Nowadays, I think that, like, the sentiment is still there where people have the idea to hate on Paulo Costa. But, man, he's good. Like, he's given us some entertaining fights. He had a good fight against Whitaker. He had a good fight against Strickland, which, by the way, was his fault. That wasn't a good fight. That was a boring-ass fight. And it was his fault that it was boring. Because Strickland, who usually, like, he pressures, but he also moves back a lot. Bro, Strickland had fucking Costa on the back foot the whole time. Costa, what are you scared of? Are you scared of Strickland's power? He don't got none, bruh. God damn. Like, come on, let's be for real, alright? Next, Colby Covington needs more hate. Needs more hate, bruh. Needs more hate than Paddy Pimblett. Colby Covington, I have not forgotten your crimes, bruh. This is... Okay, let me put him against... I'm going to put him above Strickland because it's the same crime that Strickland has committed. This guy talks crazy just because it'll get him clicks. If you guys saw Colby Covington's career before he went and he fought in Brazil, You could see that he was a good fighter. He was winning fights, but it was boring. He didn't have a personality, and the UFC were threatening to cut him. He went to Brazil, beat one of their guys, and started talking some crazy shit. And the audience, started throwing balls at him, whatever. You guys know Brazil, the crowd in Brazil is crazy. This guy's fake as hell, bro. And he sold out. Like, he started talking shit on Masvidal with their rivalry just to, like, sell the pay-per-view. The whole time, these guys used to be friends, bro. They used to live in the same apartment, roommates. Like, it was tragic, man. Like, I can't believe it. All right. Next, JDM. Now, JDM, I'm between the zero haters and the leave him alone tier. All right, because he does not have that many haters. But I think I've heard some rumblings about his fight with Islam, so I'm gonna put him in the leave him alone tier. I know we were all super hyped about that fight here. I'm gonna put Drickus in the same one. Drickus and JDM. We were so excited about their fights with their respective guys, with Hamza and with Islam, that I think we as a community, we lost track of what was at stake here, of what they were really doing out here. They were fighting the best smudge grapplers that we have in the sport. Like, the reason they got folded into lawn chairs and held in side control and in crucifix for fucking 25 minutes, it is their fault because they couldn't get out of there, but they don't deserve the hate, bro. Like, they tried, genuinely they tried their best. I feel like I'm giving someone a participation trophy. They did good, bro. Like, leave them alone. Please, leave them alone. Like, that's just what comes to mind. Like, this is the perfect tier for them because leave them alone. Like, they tried their best, okay? Next, Merab. Used to be overhated. Like, actually, overhated still. I think at this point in his career, he's gotten a lot of fans back, but still a lot of people regard Merab as being boring. Bro, this guy is not boring. Ever since his Jose Aldo fight, which was tragic, right? And maybe his Pure performance, this guy's been on a generational run, bro. He beat Cejudo. That was a really entertaining fight. I watched that live in the car with my homie. Shout out Dakud if you're watching this video. He beat Cejudo like that, with the grappling. It was very entertaining. He beat O'Malley. He got the title off of O'Malley. And then he beat Umar. And then he submitted O'Malley. And then he had that amazing fight of the night with Petr Yan. He did get dominated, but it was super entertaining. I don't think you could hate on this guy, man. All right. Next, Leon Rocky Edwards. I know. Okay, if you guys watch MMA YouTube, especially if you guys watch guys like Bedtime MMA, you guys will probably think, okay, this guy's properly rated or maybe even overhated. But no, this guy needs more hate. All right. Everything Bedtime says about this guy is fucking true. Okay? Everything I've heard, at least. This guy is so boring. He has so much skill, and he just refuses to fucking use it, bro. It's so infuriating, because Leon Edwards is good. You just don't see it. I just don't see it. Like, I just can't tell my friends, yeah, guys, be excited for this Leon Edwards fight. He's really technical. He's going to make it a show. He's not. He's not going to make it a show. He got his title fight by fluke. He got his first title defense to someone who didn't deserve it in Colby Covington. This guy needs more hate. Not too much on him, but he needs more hate. Maybe a little bit more than Kaio, but less than Nasruddin, alright? Next, Movsar Evloev. I'm going to talk about this guy real quick because I don't want to get this video demonetized, alright? Movsar Evloev, his wife is low-key a minor, okay? I think he should get some more hate just because of that. I'm going to put him a little bit higher in this tier. Above Henry Cejudo. You married your wife when she was a little girl, alright? I don't know how I feel about that. You're going to beat Lerone Murphy in the next fight, I'm sure of it. But I don't know how to feel. And also, you're inactive, okay? And you're chopped. Next, Dustin Poirier. Zero haters. Not even his opponents hate him, bro. Conor McGregor was talking some shit and whatever. But, bro, they're all homies at the end of the day. Like, everyone says, yeah, Dustin Poirier, great guy. He has, those, foundations for little kids and shit. Everyone loves Dustin Poirier, man. Everyone loves that guy, alright? Kamaru Usman needs more hate. Back to the hating, bro. Needs more hate than Chito Vera, for sure. This guy is 0-3, right? He loses to Edwards by knockout. He loses to Edwards again by decision. And then he loses to Hamzat by decision. He comes back after being inactive. Beats Buckley by smudge wrestling the fuck out of him. Just smudge. It wasn't even that impressive because Buckley just looked like a baby out there. And then he calls for a title fight? Bro, I know your manager is the same as Islam's. You don't get a title fight for that. Come on. Let's be for real, bro. What the fuck are we doing, alright? Kamaru Usman needs more hate. He does not deserve a title fight. Do not let this guy anywhere near the title, alright? Aljamain Sterling. Properly rated, my boy. I'm sorry to say. You don't have that many fans, but the people that hate on you, it's kind of justified. I've never seen an entertaining Aljamain fight except the one he got knocked out by, was it Morales? He got knocked out with the knee coming in for the double, and he got knocked out by O'Malley off the counter shot. Properly rated, alright? Next. Leave him alone! Leave my boy alone. Alright, I know, alright? Shavkat has been very inactive in the last years, and now he's out of the rankings completely. But it's not his fault, man. Before that, he was fighting once a year. But this guy's, he's always had like fragile bones. If you follow him on social media, if you just follow his story and his life in general, you'll see that a lot of times he's been out because of injuries and shit happens and this and that. Like, it's just been really bad luck for Shavkat. He doesn't deserve the hate that he gets, all right? He's a real killer. All finishes. My favorite blockhead in the UFC, probably. Leave him alone, man. He doesn't deserve that shit, all right? Next. Yair Rodriguez needs more hate. Needs more hate. I don't care, bruh. Let's put him there. Henry Cejudo. Above Henry Cejudo, behind Movsar. Oh my god. This guy gets a win over Patricio Pitbull, who's not even ranked in the fucking division. Who's a fucking bum. You know, he came in and lost twice in the UFC. Oh, and he's calling for a title shot against Volk again? No. He's supposed to fight Diego Lopez. And he hasn't, bro. Like, oh my god. Diego Lopez, again. I'm going to put this guy here because recently he's been getting some hate. But it's not justified, alright? The Diego Lopez hate is unjustified. It's not his fault that the UFC gave him 2 title shots back to back. Yes, that was fucking dumb, alright? And the UFC does not... they gave it to a guy that does not deserve it in the slightest. 1 win over John Silva does not get you back to the title. But it's not his fault. It's the UFC's fault. And he would be dumb for not accepting that shot that can completely change your life forever. Okay? He would be absolutely stupid to do that. So, overhated. Same thing with Benoit Saint-Denis. This guy, as a Spanish guy, this kind of hurts. Because he's a friend. You know, he's our enemy. But, he's good, man. Saint-Denis is good and he's entertaining. I've picked against him in like almost every fight he's been in. Except the Moicano one, which he lost. But man, like he's actually better than I expected. I rewatched the Poirier fight and he was doing really good in that fight. Like, if he didn't have staff, he probably could have won that shit low-key. Low-key, and I've started watching the UFC with one of my French homies, so shout out to him if you're watching this video. You know who you are, my Frenchie. So I've come around a little bit more to to these guys in the division, except Cirogan. Fuck Cirogan. I've come around to Benoit. I've come around maybe a little bit to Nasruddin, even though I still don't like him that much. You know, just a little bit, all right? Justin Gaethje. I don't really like Justin Gaethje that much. Like, I think he's like overrated, as in like how much the fans love him. Like, oh, Justin Gaethje fan favorite. Do we really like Justin Gaethje that much, guys? Right? I don't think he needs more hate. I'm gonna have to put him in the properly rated tier, like, because he just doesn't have like any other place on this tier list, really. He's not hated. I don't think anyone hates Justin Gaethje. Maybe they don't like the fact that he got a title shot, or interim title shot, which I agree with. You know, I don't believe he should have gotten that shot, but that's not his fault. Again, same situation with Diego Lopez. He would be stupid to say no to that, right? All right, next, Shamil Gaziev. 0 haters. We all love this fat fucking blob of a man. Most handsome man in the UFC. Like, what is there negative to say about him? What is there negative to say about my boy, alright? Next, Max Holloway. Now, Max doesn't really have any haters either. I just feel like he's different. He's on a different tier than Charles, than Silva. I think he's a little bit in the Arnold Allen like area. You know what I mean? He's a guy that doesn't have any haters. But he's not like, yeah, he's beloved, but it's not exaggerated like Charles Oliveira, all right? It's not a situation where you think, man, I just love Max Holloway. It's just not like that. So Max Holloway, 0 haters tier. Lesser than, if you can imagine these tiers in your head, if you can use your 3D spatial imagination, put him a little bit lower than Charles, but you know, higher than Shamil, higher than Poirier, like similar tier to Poirier, right? Around here, like that. This is perfect lining. We'll keep lining them up like that. All right. Next, Dan Hooker. Now, if anyone's homophobic, you know that maybe they don't like Dan Hooker now that the Dan Hooker files came out. But honestly, like, I think he's properly rated. There's people that like Dan Hooker. I'm personally a fan of his fight style. He does go out to brawl. He puts a lot on the line, and that's going to be entertaining whether he wins or loses. So I appreciate that from Dan Hooker. But properly rated, that's all we can give him. I don't think anyone's loving him too much. I don't think everyone's hating it. I don't think he needs more hate. But he's chilling. You know, he's even said, which I appreciate, he said in an interview, he said, yeah, man, I'm low-key cooked. Like, I'm not getting another title shot ever, probably. So I'm just going to spend the rest of my UFC days fucking up prospects. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that, man. We need gatekeepers that aren't delusional about getting to the title. Like, we need guys like Neil Magny to be like, yeah, I'm probably just going to beat guys until I retire. And that's it. All right? Next, Poatan Pereira. Honestly, the few haters that he had, all right, I feel like I'm glazing this man too much. But if I say he's is it glazed to say Pereira is overhated at this point? He's like the least overhated, okay? But he's still a little bit overhated. Some people still find like his thing a little like I don't know, like corny, I guess. They find it a little corny with the Shama, whatever. He has some really annoying fans back when he first came into the UFC and beat Izzy the first time. People popped out the woodworks. I popped out the woodworks to become his fan. But yeah, man, like, Pereira, a little bit overhated. Some people still think his shtick is annoying. Maybe they don't like him because of Izzy. But yeah, man, like, whatever hate you have for this man, he does not deserve it, all right? Overhated. Sean O'Malley needs more hate, all right? I don't know why we don't hate. I don't know why we don't hate on Sean O'Malley the way we hate on Diego Lopez when he got the second title shot, or the way we hate on Michael Chandler when he got like when he was this like, oh, this is the number one contenders fight, whatever, or even Justin Gaethje, bro. Justin fucking Gaethje. We hate on him more than O'Malley, and O'Malley just keeps getting back to back title shots. Who knows? Like, after beating Ayman Zahawi, they're gonna be like, fuck it, Song Yadong Ayman, give this guy to Petr Yan. Honestly, that would make a little bit of sense. But that would be 3 title fights. No, that would be more. That would be, so 1 title shot against Aljamain where he wins. He loses to Merab, gets another title fight against Merab, immediate rematch for whatever fucking reason, right? After sitting around and doing nothing. And then gets another title shot against Yan if he wins his next fight, likely. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Like, honestly. All right, next. Derek Lewis. My boy. All right. I don't think anyone hates Derek Lewis. Do people love him? I guess. The casuals, you know. People love Derek Lewis. They love his funny moments. I do think he's funny. All right. I do think he's funny. All right. Next. MVP. A little bit overhated. I think maybe less overhated than Saint Denis. People think he's boring. People think this is things I've read online, right? People think he is a little bit too much like of a point fighter. He stays too much at range, makes fights boring. He beat a fan favorite in Shara Bullet, you know, the Pirate. I don't know. I guess people don't really like the fact that he's just better than these guys. Like, he's better than your favorite fighter, bro. Like, what do you want me to say? In the middleweight and welterweight division, there aren't many people who I'd pick to be MVP. I'd pick maybe Michael Morales to catch him. I'd pick Ian Gary to beat him if they were to have a rematch. Islam for sure. JDM, I think JDM could do it. It would be tough because it would be like a primarily striking matchup. And if you're not crazy size advantage like Miles Morales, or if you're not like have a good wrestling threat like Islam, or even Brady, you know. But like everyone else out there, like, I pick him to lose. For real. All right. Next, Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell, brother. This guy. Is it anti-Semitic to put him in the overhated tier? Is it anti-Semitic to say that Bryce Mitchell is overhated? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to say properly rated because at one point he needed more hate. He said some crazy stuff about the big H, you know. big AH out there. He said some crazy stuff about him. But it's cooled down. And honestly, so far, he hasn't said anything super crazy, in my opinion. He says stuff that's low-key valid. And you can tell he's a good guy at heart. Because when the whole thing with Trump went down, and he realized, like, oh, this guy's doing stuff that he said he wasn't going to do, and he's starting wars and whatever, the whole thing with the war with Iran, he spoke out. You know, like, you can tell this guy's a good guy at heart. Properly rated. We're going to leave him there for now. You're on thin ice, though, buddy, all right? Moicano. Moicano, bruh. Properly rated. Like, I don't think this guy has any fighters. He's kind of just like a funny guy in the division. He's kind of like the class clown. No one hates him, maybe except the teachers. But no one really loves Moicano like that. They just think he's funny. Shout out Moicano, man. Bilal, overhated. I will die on this hill, bruh. Bilal Muhammad is overhated. He's in a similar situation to Marab, where the guys, they accuse him of being boring. Like, okay, if you're a guy that has good wrestling, you have no power in your hands, you have okay striking, but again, no power in the hands, so what are you supposed to do with that, right? How are you going to make a living? You're going to wrestle. You want this guy to throw away his life on the feet, throw away his chin, just to, like, make a fight entertaining? Like, come on, man. Come on. For that, we got Dan Hooker. We got Dan Hooker at home for that, all right? No need. Bo Nickel needs more hate. Especially from the fucking American fans that glaze this guy. Whatever wrestling dads people say this guy attracts. Bro, what do you guys see in Bo Nickel? He's deadass not good. I've picked him to lose nearly every matchup he's been in. Yes, I picked him to lose against Rodolfo Vieira. Yes, I did that shit. I'm guilty. Guilty as fuck, alright? Picked him to lose against Ryan the Ritter. Yo, where's that, huh? That's still one of my best underdog picks to this day. To this day. The odds houses were saying I was crazy, bro. Minus 245 favorite for Bo Nickel. Fuck you, bruh. Bo Nickel's not good. Needs more hate. Needs to get better. Similar situation to Paddy Pimblett. Needs to get hated to improve, alright? Next, Umar Nurmagomedov. A little bit overhated. This guy has the best striking out of all of the Habib, like, family line, honestly. Maybe him and Umar and Usman, who's at Bellator right now, I believe. Or PFL. I don't know. Him and Usman, they have the best striking, and yet they're like clumped in with the boring grappling, you know, like similar situation to Islam, except Islam's gotten his respect. If Habib was here, he'd go in the same tier. Not Habib, sorry. If Usman was here, he'd go in the same tier as his brother Umar, because these guys get overhated when in reality they just have good wrestling. They also have great striking. Like, that's just what it is, all right? And lastly, Ilia Topuria. What do we do with Ilia Topuria? It's kind of weird because he's kind of like, just at this point, he's already a legend of the sport. And the people that hate him, they just hate because he knocks out their favorite guys. And I get it, you know? I get it, bro. Like, I'm from Spain, and I love Alexander Volkanovski. I love Max Holloway. I love Charles Oliveira. And I've seen my boy Ilia Topuria knock them all out. It's been tragic. I think he's properly rated, but because people recognize just how good he is, and they say, I fucking hate Ilia Topuria, but he's really good. And that's a perfect statement, all right? That's kind of like, I hate Ian Gary, but he's good. Like, similar situation. They hate this guy for some reason, like, for a specific reason, but then they recognize he doesn't deserve to be, like, thrown out of the sport. You know, John Jones needs to get thrown out of the fucking sport. Fuck you, John. Not going to get started because I'm deadass losing my voice, all right? Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think of the 58 most overhated fighters in the UFC? Where would you put these guys if you were me? You know, where would you change up in the tier list? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go drink some water. Ciao.